What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports, and my God, that agonizing game was over. My God, the stress is over, and holy fucking shit, football is back, and Eagles are 1-0. And the Eagles are 1-0 after that entire fiasco that was down in Brazil. And oh boy, we will definitely get to that, but why not? Why not have a little fun right here and get this a little action? Had to do it. Had to do it. Had to do it at the end of the day, but Jesus fucking Christ, that game was a boatload of stress. Holy shit. One, the field was absolute dog shit. I don't know why the NFL in the first place goes down to Brazil. That was a mess. That was an absolute train wreck. From the field to everybody slipping on the goddamn surface. Seriously, you can make a highlight reel package of just slips. That's how bad and poor the field conditions were for today's game. Reminds me of a certain fucking Super Bowl and a certain game we won't fucking talk about that happened a couple of years ago. Jesus. Also, love watching ref ball. Love watching flags being thrown all over the place. You know, I just love it. I just love it. How many penalties were in this game? 17. 17 penalties. 17. And let's not discount the offsetting penalties too. Jesus fucking Christ. Is it just because it's the first week and we got to get all the ref ball out of the way? The refs got to get the fucking first standing line here. They got to get the face first into the camera. The goddamn main referee didn't have a voice. That's how many fucking penalties were called in this game. Either he was partying a little bit too much down there in Brazil the day before. Maybe that could be the case. Maybe that could be the case. I have no idea. I have no fucking clue. But from that aspect, it was very atrocious. And the start of the game was very sloppy too, i.e. with the poor field conditions, and that carried on throughout the entirety of tonight's game. Let's be real here, that carried on throughout. There were so many slips. Hell, Saquon Barkley, his first carry as an Eagle, falls face plants. And that probably set a lot of Giants country into amusement watching that happen, but I don't think they were very amused at what, transpired the rest of the night, because Saquon Barkley was absolutely amazing, and he was the main catalyst as to why the Eagles won this game. I will give the defense a lot of credit, too. The defense was actually very huge in terms of preventing Green Bay from scoring in the red zone. Yes, there were a lot of instances where the run from Green Bay was torching it, a lot of deep plays and big plays that torched us a little bit. Also, granted that the field conditions not being that, poor. C.J. Gardner-Johnson slipped and missed a tackle. Nakobe Dean, Jesus Christ, Nakobe Dean. Even though I thought there were very good moments from Nakobe Dean today, especially on the run, but when the ball lands in your fingertips, dude, you gotta catch it. You gotta catch it. You gotta fucking catch it, man. Because you catch it, that's an easy pick six the other way, and that ensuing drive that Green Bay had, when you miss the interception, they go and score and take the lead. That could have completely changed the trajectory of the entire game. But still, overall, Reed Blankenship had a huge interception in this game, which was flat out, really much needed for this team. Desperately needed. And like I said, the defense especially was huge, especially on those first two drives of the game where Jalen Hurts, there's a lot to say about Jalen Hurts in this game. There were some good moments, there were a lot of bad moments, and there were a lot of moments that replicated from last season's misery that transpired in tonight's game as well. Specifically on the first drive, some miscommunication, some bad snaps, and forcing a ball into territory where it gets easily picked off. Seriously, the first throw that Jalen has, boom, intercepted. Boom, intercepted. Dude, seriously? And then a fumble on the very next drive. Botched snap, drops it. Like, what are we doing here? That is embarrassing. That is brutal. Brutal. On your first 2 offensive drives of the season, interception and 2 turnovers. That just can't happen. That just can't happen whatsoever. But like I said, gotta give the defense a lot of credit, especially in the end zone. There were some good things from the red zone defense tonight that really did prevent a lot from the Green Bay side there, besides, the big plays that turned into touchdowns throughout this game for Green Bay. But the defense really stood tall when it came to red zone defense, and that was huge, and that was very huge. Jordan Davis had a up and down game. Jalen Carter had a pretty nice game. Zach Bond had a really good game. He showed that he could play. There were some really good moments by Bond. Like I said, Nakobe Dean did have some good moments in there. Quinyon Mitchell, very fun to watch. Very fun to watch. Had a lot of breakups in this game. He did have one big mistake where he got caught leaning and he got caught looking into the backfield, and that allowed one of the Green Bay receivers to be wide open for a big game in the later stages of the game. But Quinyon Mitchell was a very fun piece to watch in this game. Avonte Maddox is washed. He is very washed. My God, that one pass interference that happened on the end of a drive, which gave Green Bay more life, which probably, if it didn't happen, would have been a field goal by Green Bay, but holy fucking shit, Jesus fucking Christ, my Jesus Christ. A lot of things that did piss me off in tonight's game, and, like I said, I am going through that. But also, something else should be noted. I pray to hope to God that Jordan Love is okay. I hope he is okay, because that did not look pretty at the end of the game on that final drive when Green Bay's trying to come back into it after Jalen Hurts and Cam Jurgens once again botched snap, botched, as they called it, the Brazilian butt lift down there. Not the tush push, not the push tush, whatever it is. Called it the Brazilian butt lift. I guess that's what they called it. I have no fucking clue. That's just what I see on Twitter, and that's what I see in the Brodes Discord. After that gets botched, and then you kick a field goal, and then Green Bay, another flag gets thrown for offside, and then you still take the points instead of going it for whatever it is. You still got the points, whatever it is. It turned out into a win. But that final play, those final couple of plays, that Jordan Love, that replay, Jalen Carter was on the ground and he took him down. Jordan Love down with him. It just didn't look pretty. Did not. And just the instant reaction from Jordan Love just instantly scared people, instantly just sunk everything, took the energy and the life out of it. And like I said, I just pray to God that he is okay. Because, like I said, his reaction on the field to where he was pointing, it just did not look good. He can't get up on his own power, has to be helped off the field. Hopefully it's just a sprain. Hopefully it's just something very minor. I really hope it's not like a broken ankle or an ankle injury or an ACL injury or anything like that that keeps him out long term, because that's just something that Green Bay cannot afford. Just cannot afford. You signed this guy to a really big extension. He had a really good end of the season last year. Brought a lot of hopes up, and now that's just unfortunate. That's just unfortunate if this guy is out long term. I pray that he is okay. I really do. So I'm sure we'll find something out, hopefully, after the game on Jordan Love. I hope there will be some updates in that perspective, but I'll definitely keep out on it on the Twitterverse if there is those cases. But like I said, I really hope that he is going to be okay. But back to it. What also, to get on a positive note, Saquon Barkley was fun. Saquon Barkley is a magician. Dude was torching the field left and right. Big gains, all the touchdowns. The first touchdown pass from Jalen to Saquon, that was a thing of beauty. That was a beautiful dime right there into the hands of Barkley. And look, motion from the fucking offense. What do you know? It fucking works. I don't know why Nick Sirianni didn't think of it. It's the most simple thing in the world. Motion. Damn. My God. Motion was used the entire game. God damn it, Nick Sirianni, you're clueless. freaking motion. Wow. I didn't think that would help that much. But still, without everything going there too far off the rails. Beautiful pass from Jalen to Saquon. Beautiful there. Also, A.J. Brown making things happen, especially at the start of the second half. The short pass from Jalen to him, he takes it all the way down the field. Nice early score to start the second half. Devontae Smith had some huge catches in this game and some huge gains, which, got some huge first downs, especially in the later stages of the game, because there was one play that was late where it kind of felt like this was Saquon Barkley territory. Why not just hand him off the ball? And no, you go down on second down. Packers are probably expecting the run. You throw it, you get it to Devontae Smith one-on-one. He makes the catch, he gets the first down. So just a lot of huge catches overall from the Devontae Smith aspect, and that was really fun to see. Dallas Goedert had a couple of plays in this game as well, and there are some question marks that I still do have, and this is also going back to the preview stream that we had a couple of days ago. But well, actually, it was yesterday, so I'm completely forgetting on what I did. But going back to talking about worries and concerns about this team, mention the offensive line and the depth with the offensive line. I don't think the offensive line had that good of a game today. I'm going to be pretty honest here. There was a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, and the pressure was getting to him quickly. And it also came out to where Jalen Hurts early in the game, he was making the decision to get the ball out of his hands, but then he just went into the habits of keeping the ball, taking sacks, and just forcing plays that just weren't there. And Jalen Hurts definitely could have had many more picks in this game if it wasn't for, some drops by Green Bay on the defensive side. But there was, one aspect where the offensive line thought that Green Bay, encroached, had an offside, which it was when you saw it on the replay, but the refs didn't call it. But the entire offensive line just stopped. They completely let Green Bay's pass rush go right through them. They get a sack on Jalen Hurts. It just guys, what are we doing here? And there was a lot of missed coverage. There was guys just breaking through, getting that pressure to Jalen where he had to scramble and make bad decisions. So I thought the entirety of the offensive line just wasn't that good in today's game, and especially, with the botched snaps with, Cam Jurgens and Jalen Hurts, that's something that really needs to get cleaned up. Obviously, yes, losing Jason Kelce, Hall of Famer, a lifelong Eagle. He's been in the league for so long. Now he's finally not on the, retired and not in the league anymore. Yeah, it's definitely going to be an adjustment period with a brand new center, even though this is a center that, has played on the team and now he's finally playing center. And it was the guy that Jason Kelce hand selected to be his replacement. Yeah, there is going to be an adjustment period. But just certain situations, the botch snapped on the second drive, which led to the fumble, and the botch snap on the tush push, which really could have just put the game away, and you really didn't have to stress in that backstage of the game when Green Bay has to go on that final drive. Honestly, just think about this: if you don't botch that snap, maybe the situation to Jordan Love doesn't happen. Maybe he doesn't get hurt there. So there's something to think about, even though that's not really the fault of the Eagles or anything like that there, but it's just something that, cause and effect. You know what I mean? So that was just something that just popped into my head. But overall, yeah, it's good. It's always great to start off 1-0. There were a lot of good things in this game. There were a lot of bad things in this game. And obviously, yes, that's going to be the first case when you're in the first week of the season, and especially when you're playing in a goddamn different country where the field conditions were just absolute garbage. And I mean garbage. They were bad. Like I said, there probably is going to be some type of highlight reel that is just of all slipping, because there were so many slips on the goddamn field. Holy fucking shit. But like I said, there were some bright spots defensively, specifically with the red zone defense. I thought Nakobe Dean, even though, like I said, he dropped that interception, which should have been a pick six, and that was the most easiest interception he's probably ever going to have in his life. You got to make that catch. I thought there were some good things in terms of, some big hits from Nakobe Dean. He was really good on the run, especially. So there definitely is some intrigue right there. Bond had some intrigue as well. I think he could play as well. Quinyon Mitchell looks very fun. It's just, that defensive front, I really didn't see anything from I didn't hear Bryce Huff or Nolan Smith's name once the entire game. So that's going to be a big question mark as the season goes along. Are those guys going to get consistent pressure? And it didn't feel like that was the case in tonight's game. Maybe it changes, maybe it doesn't, or maybe it stays the same. But like I said, those guys were basically non-existent the entire night. Offensive line really has to work at the kinks. You lose a Jason Kelsey, that's huge. That is very huge. And that also goes on Lane Johnson, man. I think Lane Johnson had himself a pretty sluggish game. So, gotta fix it out. Gotta work out the kinks there. So that's an interesting. A.J. Brown did leave the field for a little bit near the end of the game. It looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him because he took a hard hit onto the ground. There was a little bit of a scare at the end of the first half with Saquon Barkley because there was a stretch of a drive where he just was not on the field whatsoever. But he came back at the second half and he played basically for the rest of the game. So I guess there's really nothing to be worried about there in the slightest. But Jalen, I need him to be better. I need him to be better. There's just too many things there that I saw that was a little bit of too many uh-ohs. And specific uh-ohs that reoccurred a ton last year. Specifically when Jalen Hurts is trying too hard to play hero ball. Happened on the first drive of the game where he tried to force a pass that just wasn't there. And on one of the drives, I believe it was at the end, I believe it was in the second quarter or was somewhere in the third quarter, when you could have gone up by another, I believe it was by 2 scores with the field goal or something like that. And it's just a forced pass into the end zone that just completely wasn't there. You're throwing across your body, and then you're trying to get A.J. Brown, and just, I don't know if A.J. Brown slipped on the play, and obviously that probably could have been the case, but it's just, you're throwing to A.J. Brown where there's 2 guys around him, and it's just an easy pick in the end zone, where that just shouldn't happen. Just throw the ball away, take the points with the field goal. So, it's just, like I said, just too many mental mistakes and too many similar mistakes from Jalen that I saw in today's game that just replicated too much of last season's debauchery. So that really needs to get cleaned up. It really does. And maybe that's the aspect of, none of these guys playing in the preseason at all, especially with a lot of the new rules that were implemented into this season, with the infraction rules and all that stuff. So there was a call there on Lane Johnson near the end of the game. So there's definitely some things that you got to learn over and over and over and over and over again. But it was just it definitely was pretty sloppy, but it's a 1-0 sloppy, so we'll take it out as we is, but it does need to get cleaned up over the next couple of weeks. It definitely does, because like I said, you really don't have any room for mistake because you do have a very early bye week, so gotta clean this shit up, because you're not going to get much breaks after the bye week because you have no other week off after that, so really gotta clean all that stuff up, really do. So just looking at stats throughout this game, looking at Jalen Hurts as a whole, he was 20 of 34 in the passing category, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He took 2 sacks for a quarterback rating of 80.3. Saquon Barkley was fantastic in this game in his debut. 24 carries on the rushing side, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns on the rushing side. Jalen Hurts, there were some questionable decisions makings, especially with, the read options and all that stuff, where he just refused to hand it off to Saquon, and he took some runs, and it got instantly snuffed by Green Bay, so that was kind of annoying in that aspect. But even though Jalen did have some huge runs near the end portion of this game where he toughed it out to get some first downs, so hopefully that's something on the bright side right there. So Jalen rushed for 33 yards on 13 carries. Looking at the receiving side, A.J. Brown didn't receive that many receptions. He got 10 targets, 5 receptions for 119 yards. So, the touchdown really does help for that 67-yarder. Devontae Smith, 7 catches out of 8 targets, 84 yards there. A really solid game there from Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert, 4 receptions on 5 targets, 31 yards. Saquon Barkley had 2 targets, caught both of those for 23 yards, including that touchdown in that first quarter, so that was huge right there. Alcantara had 1 reception for 11 yards. Kenny Gainwell had a reception for 10 yards, and really nothing else going on there. 2 fumbles on the Eagles side, 1 that he recovered and 1 that he lost in the early stages of the game. And looking at some numbers here on the defensive side, Zach Bond had a really good game. Really good game. He had 11 total tackles. He had 15 tackles in total, 11 of those solos, and he had 2 sacks on the night. So a good showcasing there from Bond. Reed Blankenship with the interception. Quinyon Mitchell had some good stuff. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was kind of a little bit all over the place today, in my an honest opinion. Nakobe Dean, like I said, Nakobe Dean had some good moments, some bad moments. So does the good outweigh the bad? Probably would have been more on the positive side if he caught that interception. But I still think there were some good moments there overall. Like I said, Avonte Maddox, he just doesn't look good at all. He looks washed. Nolan Smith and Bryce Huff, those guys were just completely invisible. Jalen Carter had some good moments. Same thing with Jordan Davis. But like I said, just not much pressure on the quarterback for my liking entirely. And maybe that'll improve as the year goes along, but definitely would like to see that quicker than not, because I just think that defense, you just need to get pressure on the quarterback, in my honest opinion. I think the Eagles only had 2 sacks today in general, and that was both from Bond. So, yeah, got to get that defensive front to get those tackles. Definitely, like I said, Reed Blankenship with that huge interception. And, yeah, that was basically it there. Fucking flags were everywhere, man. Jesus Christ. 17 total penalties. And how many yards is that total loss? The Packers had 71 yards lost there. The Eagles had 57 there. Jesus Christ. My God. That just can't happen. That just can't happen overall. My goodness. My goodness, boys. That was just crazy. Crazy. My God. So, yeah. 1-0 in the year. That's the most important stat. At the end of the day, you are 1-0. That definitely is the most important thing at the end of the day. So I want to get to some highlights here. So let's do that. Let's get to Saquon Barkley's first touchdown off a beautiful pass from Jalen Hurts.
Hurts looking the other way. Lofts it. Barkley, end zone. Makes the grab. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
That was a beautiful pass by Jalen. Just perfect right on the money dime right there. So let's also continue to move on. Devontae Smith had a couple of good catches as well, but let's get to Saquon Barkley's second touchdown of the day, running right up the middle. Just powering his way through.
And it, Barkley. Touchdown, Eagles. Saquon with a second.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Definitely got to save this one picture as well for the BrodesMedia editing process later, so I might as well do that. And let's see what else is going on here. On the highlights side, we got the Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown connection for the 67-yard touchdown run.
Hurts. Second down and 7. Hurts with time. Lofts it over the top. Brown's got it. There goes A.J. Brown. Blinding speed. Brown. Touchdown. 67 yards.
Beautiful pass. Beautiful run. Always love to see it. Always love it. We also got Reed Blankenship's interception as well here.
Love. Floats over the middle. Dangerous. Picked off. Reed Blankenship.
Love it. And then Saquon Barkley just bulldozing his way through, gets his third touchdown of the day.
Team rushing touchdowns last year. Instead, he gives it to his running back. And Barkley fights. Touchdown. It's a hat trick for the...
Always love to see it. And there was also a big run by Saquon. I believe this was in the third quarter as well, like near the end stages. After the Eagles, I believe they forced 3 and out or something like that, or forced to stop. But it was a huge run here by Saquon to get into the deep part of the field.
At the end of the third. Hand off Barkley. Barkley, look out! Home run! Saquon Barkley has that big playability.
Always love it. Always love it to see it right there. Let's see, anything else that was on the interesting side here? No, I wouldn't say so. There was, like I said, some of the huge runs by Jalen Hurts at the end and some of the huge catches by Devontae. But overall, like I said, it's week 1. So like I said, main thing is that got to work off the rust and everything there. So got to see how that transpires into the upcoming weeks. You know what I mean? So I want to really see if there's any updates on the Jordan Love side. I'm not sure if there's going to be at all. And it's funny too. A lot Eagles Nation posting the the Giants front office after Saquon signed in Philadelphia. That's funny, actually. That is very, 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 very funny. It looks like Jalen Hurts made sure to find Jordan Love at the end of the game, so that's good showmanship right there from Jalen, from the quarterback. Like I said, I want to see if there's anything here on Jalen. There's also some interesting stuff here on Zach Bond. So this is from Honest NFL. He has a lot of Eagles insight here. It looks like Bond played really well on the surface. Interesting to see what kind of story the film tells. As rough as it got defensively, this was a game they would have lost last year. Having a play caller who knows how to handle every little situation within the game is incredibly valuable, and it was pretty glaring ever since Schwartz left. Yeah, that's definitely a very key point with Vic Fangio. You know, last year doesn't even need to be explained on how bad the defense was. Definitely helps there. You know what I mean? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Like I said, I'm trying to see if there's anything here on the Love injury, Jordan Love injury. If there's anything here, I'm not sure if there is, or any updates. Jordan Love. I just hope there's something positive here. I don't think there is, though. Let's see. Let's see. This one Twitter account, Jeff Mueller, is a doctor of physical therapy, and he is concerned possibly for a left MCL sprain or a high ankle sprain, possibly with Jordan Love. But then he also quote tweeted it, said, "Didn't seem like there was enough torque, but what I'm hoping this isn't a pivot shift of the tibia. If so, this could be an ACL involved for Jordan Love, not just an MCL." Oh God, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that is not the case at all. And someone also quoted saying that it looked like his knee popped there. So hopefully it isn't anything too serious. I really hope so. Yeah, it doesn't look like Love could put any pressure on that left leg. It looks like there's a video of him on the sidelines trying to see if he can walk it off. Yeah, we won't know anything until he gets an MRI, so there's probably gonna be nothing that we hear from tonight at all. There's probably gonna be nothing at all. Nothing at all. So hopefully everything ends good for Jordan Love. Hopefully that could be the case, but we'll see. We'll see. We do have a call here on the Anytime Hotline. We got one from Zach and Tyler, actually. So let's get to both of those. See what they got to say about this game tonight, and we'll get to you guys here in the live chat. Then we'll end it off. So let's get to Zach first. What do you got, Zach?
Well, 1-0 for your Philadelphia Eagles, and what a game it was. Immediately, you have to think to Saquon Barkley. What an addition he immediately has been. I mean, my goodness, this guy is dynamic, and this entire offense is just special. You know, A.J. Brown is out there catching and running for a big one. Devontae Smith came up with some huge third down plays, some big catches. You know, Jalen Hurts thought he, of course, made some mistakes. The big one was at the goal line, throwing it up instead of taking the field goal, having an 8-point lead. But all in all, you know, came through when they needed to, got it done. Defensively, you know, I thought it was better than I expected. Zach Bond was phenomenal out there, the 2 sacks and just tackling everybody. Quinion Mitchell looked really promising. Blankenship with the pick. You had Nakobe Dean just missed a pick 6, man. It would have been game-changing. I was just missing on his name. But, you know, all in all, pretty solid defensively. Can't complain. a good first win, just shaking off the rust, and they only get better week in and week out. So go Birds, baby.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it wasn't all bad today. That's not what I'm trying to make it out to be. There were just some things that I didn't like, and it's probably things that you probably would expect in the first week, especially like what Zach said, shaking off the rust, and especially most of the starters just don't play in the preseason in general. So we'll see. What else? Let's get to Tyler here. What Tyler got to say?
What's going on, brothers? So I'll tell you what, the Phillies game, there's not a lot to say about that besides domination, fucking straight up from start to finish. Now, last I left off from the game to switch to the Eagles, they were leading 7-0 over the Marlins. I got a couple questions for you about this game. Not the prettiest win at all. Who do you blame more, Jalen Hurts or Cam Jurgens for the 2 snap fouls? I blame Jalen more because he's the quarterback and he's the one who seemed to be looking like he got distracted, looking at something else when Cam Jurgens threw the ball to him. But since Cam Jurgens is the new center, he'll probably take more flack from it, which is a shame because I wasn't very impressed with Jalen throughout most of this game. Now, he had a couple of times where he, outsmarted people on the defensive side on timing, but otherwise not really much I liked about Jalen. He threw to Saquon Barkley, who really freaking dominated the game. He was the fucking A player, if I could say so myself. Now, this was a game for you. I mean, considering that it's happening in Brazil, it was a pretty good football game on Brazilian soil. So I'll leave it at that. Good win for the Philadelphia Eagles. Talk to you next time. Go Eagles, go Phils. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Yeah, specifically for Jalen's aspect, going to the Cam Jurgens and Jalen botch snaps and everything there. I think, personally for me, I know this is probably a cop-out type of answer, but it goes on both, obviously. Even though, Cam Jurgens and Jalen Hurts have been working probably very vigorously throughout the entirety of training camp, so there's going to be an adjustment period, especially when you don't have someone as studded and a Hall of Fame caliber as Jason Kelce is under center. That definitely is going to be a major adjustment period. It's not going to just take the entirety of training camp just to work off some kinks there and try to find a connection and find a chemistry right there. I think for the snaps, I think it just goes on both. Definitely Jalen for maybe not paying attention. I think for overall, I think Jurgens, obviously, I think Jurgens maybe snapped. I think, especially like on the first one for the fumble, I think Jurgens snapped it a little too early when Jalen was still trying to make calls and, adjust the play and everything like that. So I think that was more on the Jurgens side. But the one for the tush push, I think that was more on Jalen because that was more in his hands and everything like that. And he just dropped it. He missed it. So it goes on both for the entirety right there. But yeah, basically, Saquon was a beast. Jalen, like I said, it's rust of week 1, but like I said, there was too many uh-ohs that just reminded me too much of last season, specifically with trying to play hero ball, holding on for the ball for too long, and forcing passes that shouldn't be there. So that's got to get worked out, and that's got to get kinked out. So hopefully that is the case. And yeah, it was also very good that the Phillies put up 2 touchdowns before any other team tonight did. Phillies fucking crushed Miami tonight. A lot of runs. So they guaranteed a split there, so that's nice. Try to win the series tomorrow with Aaron Nola on the bump. So like I said, still with the Phillies, that's most likely going to be recapping after Sunday's game. So just, letting you stay tuned there. So tomorrow, we'll definitely think of something overall with either maybe a day after reaction to this game or something there. We'll definitely figure out something. So definitely stay tuned for that. But overall, good win. It's a good win. It's good to start off 1-0 always. You can't complain about that. So definitely look into next week. Monday Night Football. It kind of sucks that you're playing 2 prime time games in a row. Monday Night Football against the Falcons, against Kirk Cousins again. What is that? Kirk Cousins 3 times in a row on prime time as the quote-unquote opener at the link. So that's definitely very weird in the aspect there. But yeah, let's get to you guys right here in the live chats, and then we'll call it off. We'll call it off today. So yeah. Also, if you're keeping up with the Phillies, just in general, I think the Dodgers and the Brewers lost today, so that even helps us more with the standings there in terms of the league. Phillies are now a game over the Brewers and 4 games above the Brewers in a game above the Dodgers, so that helps. That helps a lot. Just a little quick Phillies update right there. But let's get to you guys here in the chat before we leave off and head off. Need Hurts to be better. Edge rushers need to be better, though. Yeah, definitely agree there. Like I said, Huff and Nolan Smith were basically just not. I didn't hear their names once. Not once overall. The field was the field was fucking terrible. Just slipping all over the fucking place. Had to clean it up by October. What else? When they settled for the field goal, I was a 1,000,000% sure Green Bay was going to return the punt for the walk-off touchdown. Honestly, I thought the kickoff return for Green Bay there on that final drive was very stupid, because if you take the touchback, it goes up to the 30-yard line, doesn't it? Now with the new rules, and they decided to run it, and they didn't even get close to the 30-yard line. So that was very stupid in that aspect, in my opinion. Green Bay is supposed to be a hot offense. I was very pleased with the defense overall, considering the turnovers from the offense. Yeah, I think overall defensively, I think that it was a good surprise, in my honest opinion. You know what I mean? Let's see. They were working on Love for like that second half of the game and eating a banana, so maybe he was just cramping up really bad all game. Hopefully that is the case, but like I said, we're not going to find anything out until we see the MRI with Jordan Love, and we most likely won't see that over the next few days or so. So, we'll see. What else? Devontae Smith is so clutch. I agree. I was here 10-7 on the season, calling it now. Oh, Austin. Yeah, the fucking turf is horrible. Fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. So, well, boys, it's getting late here. It's fucking 12:30. So, I think this is a good time to call it the knot. So, appreciate you all for tuning in. As OPS fucking randomly disconnects on me, so thank you, OPS. Thank you. Good thing we're ending it right now. So, yeah. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thanks, boys, for tuning in. Wasn't able to get to live stream the game together. You know, I was just too tired. I basically came home from the gym like right before the game started, and I was fucking gassed. So I just felt like chilling and watching the game. But we'll definitely get to some watch parties at some point this season. I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that. So stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks guys for tuning in. Good win by the Birds. We'll see what happens next time.